Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here, trapped behind all of this stuff. Welcome to PlayLoad. This is all my video game pickups for the month of June 2019. This episode's going to be a little weird because, for a few different things. One, there's no actual video games in this episode. It's all just like video game associated stuff, or in some cases some video game surprises. This stuff's pretty good. But no actual like games, which I think is a first in the history of this series. Now that happened basically because I've been traveling so much and all that, and I just haven't been around to pick up anything like that. Like I was at E3 for basically like a week and a half, and another part of it is the timing. At the time I record this video, we're only about halfway through the month, which is, why are you doing that? The problem is I go right back on the road in a couple of days, and then I will be basically not home again until July. So I had no choice but to film it now or not do it at all. So I thought, I got a bunch of cool stuff here. I thought I'd show you that. The other thing that makes this really, really weird is the fact that every single thing on this table was free. Every single item. Which is not normal at all. But in this case, because it's mostly promo material and stuff like that, it was. Or in some case, we got some cool-ass mystery packages with some really neat stuff in them I'm looking forward to showing you. So, let's just get on with it. At the beginning of E3, the first thing I did went to the Xbox conference, and then after that I went to the Bethesda conference. Now, sometimes they'll have like post-parties and stuff where they have things. As far as I know, Xbox did not do any sort of post-party, probably because it would be way too big. However, Bethesda does do one. And the Bethesda post-party was... This year wasn't as good as last year, because last year it was more VIP-ish, and it was a bigger space, and there was like more food, and there was more stuff. It was just cool. This year it was a little bit more open to the public, a little more. And it was also in a smaller space. It was hotter, and it was very condensed, and there was less to do, and there wasn't much stuff. And yeah, it was just not as good, but it's okay. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you how it was. And the only thing I got from there, because they weren't really giving much away, was this is just a drink cozy thing that just shows that new logo that says "Be Together" and shows a bunch of their characters on it. And yeah, that's it. It's just a drink cozy thing. The next day I went to the Ubisoft conference, and Ubisoft usually gives away stuff, and it's usually like the first year I was there they gave away like phone chargers, like portable chargers. Second year they gave away a tote bag and a hat. This year they gave away a hat, a tote bag, and a couple of pins. However, I don't have the pins anymore. A buddy of mine collects those, and he was working so much during E3, I felt bad for him, so I gave him the pins, because I don't really care about pins, and he really does, so why wouldn't I give them to him? So there was that. So thank you very much to Ubisoft for doing that, and Bethesda, of course. But moving on, the real shocker to me, as far as stuff I walked away with, was AverMedia. I had made a meeting with them, after mostly because people were complaining about the audio and stuff in the video. So I talked to see if anybody from AverMedia was going to be around, if I could arrange something, see what up. And so I talked to a guy who was a really awesome dude, formerly at EA Sports, and he was there when EA Sports wasn't awful, which was nice. He told me some cool stories, but that's not really relevant. Anyway, so I met up with him, and he was like, yeah, here's a giant-ass swag bag. And so first was the actual literal bag, so there you go. But it also had a bunch of cool stuff in it, some of which I've got out here. The first thing that's never going to get used is one of these. This is like a sweat towel, you know, one of those like long ones that you just kind of put over when you're working out. Let's keep it real, that part's never happening. But I appreciate the towel nonetheless. Also a water bottle. Very cool, you can always use another water bottle. But the real meat and the potatoes of it was first the live streamer mic 133, which is actually how you're hearing me right now. So I hope you guys enjoy the new audio setup. And the other thing AverMedia did was they gave me this. This is the GC311 Live Gamer Mini. So I'll be able to do gameplay capture with this for future, you know, gameplay videos, as well as, of course, Dreamcast videos and all that kind of stuff. So thank you again to them. Also, look at this shirt. This is from Sega. Sega was giving these away to everybody, and I scored one, of course. I was just like, hey, I need a shirt. And they hooked me up. This is one of the coolest shirts I've ever seen. It's got like every single Sega piece of hardware on it. I mean, this shirt has the Sega Terra Drive on it. You get extreme points for having a Sega Terra Drive on your shirt. That's ridiculous. And I remember pointing this out. I was hanging with Kelsey Lewin of Metal Jesus Crew, And I was like, you should see this shirt. It's got like everything on it. She's like, everything. Yeah, right. Okay, let me judge for myself, because she's like super into video game history and everything. And she looks at it, she's like, okay, they got the Terra drive on there. I can't fault them. It was like, boom! Yes, this shirt kicks ass. So well, I saw tons of people rocking these. This is a good shirt, so compliments to Sega for that. One of the weirder things I got, because it was completely unexpected, is when I was walking around E3, I went up to like the corporate area, and there's a lot of like companies up there that just have small booths up there where they arrange meetings and stuff. And I see a dude I recognize. He was formerly a PR guy over at Ubisoft, and now he works at Logitech. And so I was like, oh, what's up, man? You know, bro, hug it out and everything, which is something I do. But I was like, yo, what's up? Chatting, whatever. And as we're chatting and catching up, he's like packing a bag, and then he's just like, he just hands me this. He's like, here you go, take a mouse. And I was like, dude, I don't even game on PC. He's like, I don't care, just take it. And so it was cool enough to do that. So this is the G502 Lightspeed wireless gaming mouse. So thank you very much to my buddy for that. This will get some use as like an actual like practical application mouse, but for gaming purposes, probably not. But thank you very much. And then I went over to Techland. They were obviously showing off Dying Light 2. This has got to be one of the biggest surprises, like literally, because of what it is. This is a giant-ass statue, and I'll try to take it out of here, featuring the main character of the game, Aiden. So let me pull this out as best I can. This one was strange, because this one was one that you could only get if you went to a meeting for Dying Light 2, which obviously I did, where they just showed you like a demo of the game, where you couldn't actually play it, you can just see it, and then afterwards they give you these. And I saw a lot, there it is. I saw a lot of people walking around with these things, and they didn't really know what to do with them because they're so big. Sadly, E3 also has this policy about like once you leave, there's a serious limit on what you can bring back into the convention. So I would go back sometimes, and security would not allow people to take these back into the convention center. So there was a lot of these things being abandoned out by security and ultimately thrown away, which is kind of depressing. So if you ever go to E3, don't bring a backpack. Bring like a small little satchel type of thing, because you won't get anything bigger in there. You'll get bags inside. Do that instead. But yeah, that's the cool statue right there. I thought you guys would enjoy looking at that. So at some point I'll take this out and display it somewhere. Very cool. I'm going to put this off to the side because it takes up a lot of space. And that's it for like random E3 stuff. So obviously we got some care packages here. We actually have 3 of them. So I'm going to open these up, which I usually do in the actual, like, a lot of this stuff I'm going to do separate videos on, but I want to give you guys kind of, since this has been such an odd episode, I wanted to give you guys some more cool stuff to look at, and then a sense of other future videos that will be coming. So this first thing up is from Pound Technology, which you would know them. They make a lot of, like, HDMI cables for various older consoles, and I've done videos on their stuff in the past. And in this case, what they sent me is their newest little toy. This is the HD link cables for the Sega Genesis. So it's actually really funny. I have not had the nicest things to say about Pound products in my videos. So it's kind of surprising that they keep talking to me, but at least, you know, I'm honest. I haven't found a lot of their stuff to be all that great. So it was funny when they contacted me about this one. They were like, hey man, just want you to know, like, we tried really hard with this one. He was explaining in detail, like, this is how it works, and I think you'll really enjoy it, so we invite you to try it out. You know, we take it very seriously, getting better stuff out of this. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. I also have one of these by Hyperkin. So what I'm thinking is, rather than do 2 separate videos being like, hey guys, here's a cable for the Genesis, and hey guys, here's another cable for the Genesis, maybe doing one video kind of comparing both of them. Does that make more sense to you guys? You tell me what you think. But either way, thank you to Pound for providing this. Now, moving on, we have this much bigger box. This one comes from Castlemania Games, and as you can see, it's a doozy. It's actually literally 2 boxes taped together. The funny thing is, Ryan was talking to me for quite some time about like all this stuff that he was like, yeah, I need to send you this, I need to send you this, and he kept getting distracted and like not doing it, and then eventually that pile just kind of, you know, got way too big, and it's just recently he was like, yeah, I think I'm finally going to send it, and I'm like, okay. So let's take a look at all the goodies inside. There will be a preview of what's to come. And, whoa, a lot of stuff. Okay, let me take these out one at a time here. Boom. Lots of stuff, lots of stuff, lots of stuff. I'm sure you guys saw bits of it, but there's more stuff than I expected. That pile might fall. Please don't fall. And as always, he provides some Castlemania stickers. So check out Castlemania Games. There's a link in the description. You can check that out. Also, I'm sure he's going to have the pound cable at some point. But let's take a look at the items in here. So is this the one I want to show first or last? I think this is the one I'm going to show last. So we'll put that off to the side. So the first thing here is this. This is the Tribute 64. This is the Retrobit controller for the N64 that uses the Hori controller molds. Sorry. So yeah, you can use this on an N64, and it's like a more aerodynamic, more fun, it's nicer controller basically. The original versions of these are rather expensive, only available in Japan originally. So I'm intrigued to see how that one will actually perform. This is the box fell. This is the Retrobit Sega Saturn controller. These are the officially licensed by Sega controllers. So yeah, that's going to be really cool to check out in person. There, I believe it's not like it's. At first, I assumed they were just using the molds and actually like putting them on just like USB ports, and they were just meant for PC or something. But it's like no, these are a brand new wave of Sega Saturn controllers. And the same applies here. This is the 6-button Sega Genesis controller, available now, of course, for an actual Sega Genesis. Again, also licensed by Sega. I'm not entirely certain what this is, so we'll get to that in a second. He apparently, I didn't know he was doing this, he apparently gave me a second one of the Retrobit Tribute 64s. This is the, obviously a red one. So thanks, dude. I was not expecting 2 of those. And I had been bugging him about this one for a while because I really want to try it, but his timing on this is really amazing. This is the Hyperkin Duke Xbox controller. What this is using the original molds of the original Xbox, like Duke Fat controller, with a USB dongle, and actually it's designed for use on Xbox One. Now, why would that matter? For original Xbox backwards compatibility, which if you saw a recent video of mine, they just ended that program, so there's 40 or debatably 41 games that support that, and you can use this with those games. Well, at least the 40. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, you wouldn't want to do that. But the rest of them, you can actually use an original Xbox controller for the original Xbox games on your Xbox One. So very much looking forward to checking that out. Although it's unfortunate they use this mold instead of the S, because I think the S, the smaller one, the redesign, is the one that more people like. But they still made this, and the fact that they even did that is impressive. So I don't know what the hell this is. So let's find out. I'm going to open it up. Unless this is, there's supposed to be this one particular item. I don't know if this is it. Oh, nope, this is different. This is something else. The Brawler 64. Do you guys know what this is? This is a new controller. This actually originally, I believe, went to Kickstarter and was meant to be a new design of an N64 controller, mostly made for Smash, but meant to use the more modern style of a controller. You know, that wider controller we've gotten used to from the Xbox and PlayStation brand, but obviously designed for the N64. This is actually the revision of this. There was a first version. He actually sent it to me, but I never got to use it or show it because he said that that first batch was technically defective. It was possible to push the joystick into an unnatural position, something like that, and because of that, they didn't consider the product to be quality enough, so they went in and they redid it, they fixed it, and they shipped it out again. So this is the redesigned version that doesn't have that issue. So very cool of him to send that. Awesome. And then the last thing he sent here, which was pretty cool. Let's take it out of here. This is, if I can get it out safely. There it is. This is the DC HDMI board, as well as with some parts and all that, which I'm going to put right back in there. The DC HDMI board. Now, if you're not familiar, I did a video on this already, so you can go watch it. But basically, this is a board you install into the Sega Dreamcast that allows the games to run natively in 1080p, and it has a whole host of other features. Like I said, I already did a video on it. That's just the board. So he just sent me that. Now, obviously, I have to have it installed. I have a buddy who said he would do it, so yeah, I'll have one of those. And it's cool to have a little follow-up to that, because originally my consensus on it was that it was great, but it was missing anti-aliasing. That was like the only thing. If it had that, it would be much better, because the higher resolution brings out pixelization that was never really meant to be there, jagged edges, and you could use the M cable and that would help clean it up and stuff, but if it could do it on board natively, that would probably be better. And I found out later from the guy who actually makes those that anti-aliasing in firmware updates is either out now or will be very soon, so I'm very curious to see how that will ultimately result once I have my own. So awesome of him to do that. So as you can see, Castlemania Games wasn't playing, man. Like he brought the A game as far as all these controllers. So again, what I'm thinking about doing is rather than doing like individual videos on every single one of these, I'm thinking what I kind of want to do is just do like some sort of controller video where I try out all of these and then show you my quick thoughts on all of them and see how they compare to originals and that type of stuff. You tell me if you think that idea makes sense. So for now, I'm just going to put them off to the side. So thank you again to Castlemania Games. By the way, dude, guys, I mean, look how cool he was to send all that cool stuff. Please go check out his website. There will be a link in the description. Go check out Castlemania Games. Now, last one here is a true gift. This comes from my buddy Fox, who I've talked about many times in the past in different videos. He lives in South Korea, but he often gets sent to Japan for work, and when he goes there, when he gets a chance, he goes game hunting. And in this case, he found something rather special, and then he knew I was going to want. I tried to talk him out of it, and then he's like, well, if you don't take it, I'm sending it to Kelsey Lewin. And I was like, okay, send it to me, because I have to make Kelsey jealous. You know, like that's just how that has to work. She's one of my best friends, and I love picking on her. So, sorry, Kelsey. Anyway, so boom, let's open this up, and we will see what we ended up getting here. It's pretty special. It's pretty special, and hopefully he left a note here because I would like to read that to you, because he always writes a note, and I'll be disappointed if he didn't. Come on, man, don't let me down. Ah, there's the note. There has to be one. Take out all the stuff here and put this off to the side. So, let's see here. Hopefully he didn't write it in a way that ruins what it is. He kind of did, but it's okay. I'll read it anyway. He said, "Hey Adam, it is I, Fox. Enclosed herewith is a box. I present you with a relic of Nintendo's early gaming days. This one is untested and not in the best shape, but you can't beat the price." He basically paid nothing for this. He bought it at a hard off for nothing. "If you have any high-value targets, you know where to reach me. Take it easy." Awesome dude. He always goes out and finds people all sorts of cool scores all over Japan. But anyway, so let's first look at the less interesting part of this package, which is this power supply. No big deal, whatever. Now we get into the real thing that matters here. Right here, here we go. And it is a Pong console by Nintendo. This is technically Nintendo's first home console. Before the Famicom, before the NES, they made this. It's just Pong. Okay, it's like the same first generation game that every one of them made. The only thing that makes it special is that technically Nintendo made this one. There are different versions of this made by Nintendo. This is just one of them. But yeah, nevertheless, thank you, Fox. You hooked me up in a big way. Unfortunately, like he said, it's untested. I have no way to test this. This is Japanese RF. I probably can't even get this thing to run. But nevertheless, having it is cool all the same. So if I ever get around to that first generation video, this will definitely be in it. This was actually one of the reasons I hadn't produced those, is because it's all the same game. It's just Pong over and over again, and it's like I'm not going to do a video on every single one of them. I'll put them all together. But if you're going to do that, it would be kind of nice to have the only one that's kind of special, which is the Nintendo one. So, boom. At least that is no longer an obstacle. So, that'll do it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can please like the video, subscribe. I really appreciate that. Obviously, thank you to you guys at Pound. Thank you to Castlemania Games. Thank you to Fox. Thank you to my buddy at Logitech. Thank you to Aver Media. Thank you to Ubisoft, Bethesda. Thank you to the people at Dying Light, Techland. I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. Bethesda, I guess. If I already said that, I don't remember. But damn, obviously, crazy month as far as a lot of just weird stuff. But it was really cool. It was really cool. So again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all later.